Hi, I'm EllaAradia and welcome to your September 2025 Psychic Tarot reading. This reading is for my Cancer water signs, where we'll be exploring the overall energies and themes for the month ahead, as well as taking a deeper dive into how these might be playing out for you in your life. This is a general reading, so it's going to resonate a little bit differently for all of you. Although what I do find is there's always a shared theme that runs through the collective of all of you Cancer signs. So take what feels aligned to you and just leave the rest. And before we jump in, I just want to say a big thank you to all of you who are supporting my channel by liking and subscribing. So if you enjoy this reading and you haven't already done that, please do. It helps the channel out a lot. It doesn't cost anything to subscribe, and then you can get notified when the next videos are up. So Cancer, let's jump in. I feel there's going to be some themes in this reading around managing your energy, but a deeper soul lesson here, Cancer, around treasuring your heart and who you are giving that heart energy to and how much. And I seem to remember in our reading last month there was a little bit of this kind of breadcrumb energy that was going on. So these dynamics around, give and take, giving and receiving in the connections that you hold with others. And with your overall energies, we have the Queen of Cups, which is all about what I was just saying. It's about, an invitation here to really look after your emotions, your emotional world, your emotional needs. So the Queen of Cups is, all about emotional mastery and balance. So taking care of your inner world, Cancer, because, many of you I feel are, these really beautiful, empathic beings who have this huge capacity to give, to care, to, maybe hold space for others. And sometimes I feel for some of you, you might forget to do that for yourself. Or there might be something deeper here which might go back into childhood, where on some level, some of you may not perhaps feel worthy of, loving yourselves and giving that, that love and that care to yourself that you give to others. So what lies in your recent past, we have the Moon. Sometimes this comes up when there is a situation going on where there's a lack of clarity. Sometimes it's things which are hidden and unseen. It can represent deception. It can also represent our deeper subconscious world, where very often those, those fears and insecurities that I was talking about, that's often where, we hold those. And they do play a big part. Our subconscious world really does run the show, much more than our conscious mind. And with your current energies, we have Death, which is a card of transformation. And it can represent, of course, the ending of something, the beginning of something new. So, death implies life, the rebirth of something, the letting go of old layers, versions of ourselves, limiting negative beliefs, and a transformation of some kind into, a better version of ourselves, a more healed and complete version of ourselves. And with your feelings towards your situation, we have the Nine of Wands. And for those of you that this applies to a connection, I feel like this is someone that, with this Nine of Wands here, someone that you have really tried to, get things to work out here. You put a lot of time, a lot of energy. You've really given something your all, to the point of, really coming to this place of exhaustion, because the Nine of Wands, it represents, coming to the completion of something, but there's a cost. There's something which you've ended up having to carry, or you've put so much in that you have just come to this place of exhaustion at this point. And that is what I feel in relation to the person that you're dealing with. And what lies in your challenge is the Ten of Pentacles, which is all about long-term stability, building for the future, long-term commitment. It's about leaving a legacy. And this is what the challenge is to let go of at this point, because I feel like the person that you're dealing with here is probably someone that you had down as your person, your life partner. And there was this hope, this dream to really, build a future together with this person, to work together towards that common goal of long-term commitment and stability. And the hidden influence, the Five of Wands, and somehow I was just being pulled into this Moon card with this hidden influence. So this is a card of competition, conflict. And this isn't going to resonate for everybody, but for some of you, you may have been dealing with somebody who may not have been being loyal to you in some way, because for some of you this is going to be perhaps a third party influence here, or there are other people that are competing, for your person's attention, let's say, and a real kind of lack of clarity on, what is going on with your person. And an invitation with the Moon here to really trust your intuition on this, Cancer, because the thing is, I'm a Cancer as well, so we have such a powerful intuition. It's these water energies, these energies of empathy, and it really is, your superpower. And deep down, I feel like you know what this Five of Wands is actually representing here. And I do feel the universe has perhaps brought in this Death card to bring about, a very necessary transformation of some kind, something that really truly does need to come to a close, because it is time for something new for you. And the energies I feel around this, whether this is related to, your relationship or someone that you're in a connection with, or whether it's your job or career, the theme is the same here. It's putting your energy into something that is not being equally reciprocated here. And very often we can attract, for some of you it might be a slightly narcissistic connection, or you might be involved with, someone who is avoidant, where there is this sense of it being all about them. And, none of your needs are really being met. You're not being seen, acknowledged in the way that you need. But still, putting your energies in, trying to make it work to the point of, this exhaustion of the Nine of Wands here. And very often the deeper lesson of these kind of connections where there are these imbalances is all about you having a much stronger sense of yourself, through these energies of self-love, Cancer. And very often that is the attraction, with a person like that, with these slightly, narcissistic or avoidant energies. On some level you're helping them to feel, and there is that invitation for them to perhaps connect more to their emotions and go to deeper depths and open up. And on your side, an invitation to stand much more strongly in yourself and what your needs are here, Cancer. And, there may be something, in your childhood here that you perhaps need to go back and look at that needs healing around, what might be preventing you from really loving yourself and feeling worthy and deserving of that love. And with your advice from the universe, we have the Seven of Pentacles. So this is a card of taking stock. It's a moment where, a pause comes in, where we need to just take a step back. We need to look at the whole situation, whether that's a connection or a job or whatever that is. And it's a moment to reflect and reevaluate and really look at, moving forwards, who or what you are going to put your energy into moving forwards. And sometimes that's about putting that energy into yourself, even if it means going solo for a little while. Because of course, in terms of energy, frequency, when we do that for ourselves, that's when others on the outside mirror that back to us, because the outside is just a mirror. Other people are just reflecting back to us, the relationship that we're having with ourselves in some way. So once we shift our energies, then others can then reflect that back to us, which is, of course, ultimately is what you want, Cancer. And with your outcome position, we have Temperance. This is a card of healing, of moderation, patience. And it represents, the blending together of two energies in order to create something new. So in terms of healing, there is a really big invitation here, Cancer, right now to really look at those unhealed parts of yourself and to really, allow yourself that time and space right now to heal, to evolve, to grow, and to come into, that more whole place of yourself, which of course will then lead you and get you closer to what you really want in life. So Cancer, I'm going to leave it there. If you enjoyed this reading, if it resonated, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. And as always, no matter what comes through in a reading, moving forwards, always trust what feels right for you. So thanks so much for being here, Cancer, and I wish you a great month ahead.